you know, when you're in the midst of these seasons that are so crazy, and then you've got, you know, like, you know, with the whole virus thing and everything, it's even worse.
Yeah.
You know, and so our filters are extreme anyhow. We are so careful about what we say and what we show and what we film.
Did you know that there's actually an election coming up?
Oh my God. He did it again. Did you hear him? He did it again.
Well, there's an election, right?
He did it again. That's a dirty word.
No, but there is an
You're not
election.
supposed to say election. You say election?
No, you can say election. You can say virus.
You just can't say who you're going to vote for, because that would be bad.
You know what? I mean, it's interesting to go down the road, okay, and see signs and.
We're going down the road, okay?
And we're seeing signs.
Oh, we're heading right down that road. You guys want to go somewhere?
Yeah.
We're sitting in the driveway waiting for Dad for like how long now, Bethany?
A long time.
85 billion.
Very long time.
85 billion minutes.
Yes. David, can you please run downstairs and tell Dad if he doesn't come now, we're going to lose Jesse, and then I and Jesse will have to stay back. And that's not going to be fun. We really do need to get out. Would you mind running down and telling him that? It's been too long in the house, right, guys? No. You don't think so, Jesse, girl? I know, and everybody's got sweaters on because it's high of 61, but it's warm in the car. We've got the windows open, but I'm going to turn the AC on, okay? And we're waiting for Dad so that we can begin our adventure. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Planning is not our strength, especially with all these kids and all the things that we have to do all the time. And so we try our hardest, but we're just going to take a drive out actually to buy our meat today. So out in the country, we're waiting for Dad, who's, I don't know what he's doing down there, but he's been downstairs for like an hour letting us wait here. So hopefully they'll be here soon. Are you finally here?
Oh gosh.
What were you doing down there, watching videos?
Okay. No. I was trying to clear out our GoPro. We haven't used it in so long, and all the stuff that's on there we filmed and we never even posted because we've done so many.
So if you guys are wondering where all our videos are,
we're all on Joe's computer.
Oh my gosh! And we just get so busy.
Well, there's stories that,
we film all the time. We just don't ever get around to.
Well, and they're not complete, or they're, you know, there's stuff that we can't put out there, and sometimes it's not timely.
It was very difficult during this whole COVID thing.
It has been very difficult.
It's been very difficult, I think, for everybody, but
yeah.
And
so we're gonna head out. It says it's 1 hour and a lot, a bit over an hour to get to where we're going.
Well, I told him before dinner, so
we're good.
All right. Well,
we're gonna head out and have a wonderful day. It's an unbelievably beautiful day today.
Yes, it is. So we'll get started. Maybe we'll see some pretty scenery.
Absolutely. Maybe some trees changing colors.
Yeah, it's happening.
Maybe by the time you see this, it might be December.
And we will.
I hope we'll get this video up sooner than that. But,
oh my word. Okay.
Yeah.
So of course Dad had to go in and get us a Starbucks. The first Starbucks I've had in 6 months. So I'm pretty excited about that. And it's all good, right guys?
Yeah.
Are y'all having fun back there?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're being good, sing along.
Yeah, we're good.
You know where we're headed?
To a farm.
To a farm? So we're gonna go get our meat.
Oh yeah.
We're very blessed to know a farmer.
Yeah.
And be friends with a farmer.
Yeah.
Who raises grass-fed organic beef, and we've been very fortunate to be, you know, included in their sharing and offering, and so we're going to go out and pick up some beef.
Here.
Delivery service.
They don't have any food.
Thank you. Oh, bummer. All right. Nothing at all, huh?
Not this late in the day.
But I have Starbucks.
You do?
For the first time in a gazillion years. Well, not that long.
It's been a while.
We didn't even offer it to our children, did
No.
we? Just us.
They have drinks.
They do have drinks. We've got a cooler full of stuff, and
We don't want to make any have to make any stops along the way.
no, we really don't.
We'll have stops for me, but
That
not for
would be
anybody else.
crazy. All right, onward. Well, even the 6 blind kids need a change of scenery, right?
Even the 6 blind kids need a change of scenery.
Every
Hannah,
now and
do you
then.
do you like a blind joke like that?
Yeah, that one was corny.
That was corny. Oh my storms.
It's very bumpy right now because
Oh
they're
my.
redoing all these roads. Oh my goodness. This is the cutest little town though. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this later. This is the cutest little town though. It's a mess right now, but hey, you know, you gotta
These are those
fix
like
things up.
quaint Virginia towns, you know, that are just so cool. It'll be nice when they get it fixed up.
It'll be very nice. Is that the house that our
Yeah.
friends used to have?
Mhm.
We've been inside. That house is gorgeous on the inside.
It is.
Whew, that was crazy.
All right, now we're coming into probably one of my absolute favorite places and views in all of Northern Virginia. This is called Clark's Gap.
We actually tried
Yes.
to buy a place
Yes, we did. You can point that out when we get up here.
many years ago. It just wasn't meant to be.
Yep, so this is
That's the place right there.
right up there
Yeah, this
where
is-
that winery
They've
is.
now turned it into a winery and a vineyard, but I don't know if you can see that
Yeah,
old
right up this road here.
house.
See, up there. Right up there. And we were going to have festivals there.
So we had the right idea, but it's very peaceful out here. We actually looked at several houses out this way.
Yep.
It just wasn't meant to be at that time.
And
And part of the reason that wasn't meant to be was because we ended up with a car full of kids
car full of kids.
that needed
Yeah.
to be closer in and have their, their transportation and all their services and things.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yeah, the
now that they're all out of
services-
school, you never know.
The services for the blind and visually impaired and in general special needs kids when you get out into some more rural areas is
It's harder to come by.
it's harder to come by.
Yeah.
But the caseloads are
Of course,
different,
right now, nobody's getting any services.
Nobody's getting services.
You know, so kind of makes you think, you know.
So, and our kids don't need those or don't have those services anymore, right? Because they're mostly graduated. But it was one of the reasons why we moved in closer back in the day.
Well,
we used to
we were
live
thinking
out
of
here.
jobs and all kinds of things, and this would be very difficult for them.
Yeah. We did look out here for many years, thinking that we would go out further rather than in further, but we made a choice to go in further.
Then we could raise our own organic, grass-fed beef.
Yeah. So where are we going?
We're gonna go get our meat
We're gonna go get our meat, right? So
for the winter.
for the winter, we've known this family for over 20 years, right?
Their daughter married our son Joel's best friend from high school,
Yeah.
and so we've
And middle
gotten-
school. I mean, it went all the way
Yeah,
back
I
to
know.
middle
Joel's known him for many years, and they were very close friends. And then Joel's friend got married to this young lady who is one of 8 girls, and the parents have a farm. And you know, and we kind of struck up a friendship with the parents.
And we've been buying meat from them off and on for 8 years.
Well,
For 8 years.
we used to buy it, and then,
Yep.
like so many things that we went through, the job, you know, situation when you were unemployed.
Yeah.
I hate to talk about that in every video,
Oh,
but
I know.
you know,
Right.
that's just the
So when
reality
we were out
of
of
our
work
life.
for 5.5 years.
We
didn't
were
eat
not
much.
buying beef
We
like
didn't buy
that.
beef.
No.
We were.
We ate
on
a lot
budget.
of a lot of chicken, and we ate ground beef, you know, and things
Yeah.
that were very cheap.
But we couldn't stock up. There wasn't times where
No, we didn't have that kind
where
of
we
money.
could buy a quarter or
A freezer
50
full of
pounds
beef.
or 100 pounds worth of meat.
So we're very thankful
So
that we can
We are
do that this time. But
today we're going to have this beautiful ride.
and
out
it's
to the
very good
farm.
quality meat, and I don't know, you know, I just feel like I'm doing better by the family,
Yep.
giving them the organic.
grass-fed beef, and it's more expensive.
It's a little
it's-
pricier.
it's-
Yeah, they're reasonably
It's quite a bit
priced.
more expensive actually
Is it?
than you know if you're buying Walmart or Costco meat. But you know what? We're doing good by helping our
Well,
friends.
because they need the business too, and so we think
and
that
they
we're,
feed their family,
Right.
you know, through this. So
they're a very large extended family. Yeah,
we're happy to help out there.
and they do a lot of gardening and raise their own vegetables and things like that. So
All right.
it's all good.
Okay, we just went into West Virginia and we missed the sign.
Scenery alert.
Scenery alert. There you go.
Very pretty day today.
Still a little early, it looks like, for the fall colors.
Yeah, they're not really. They're just starting to change. You can kind of see some over there, just starting.
And this is the Shenandoah Valley, so normally a really beautiful area to take a fall trip.
Well, it's a beautiful area anytime.
You notice the roads got a lot better as soon as we came into West Virginia?
Yeah,
You know why?
because they got paid.
They got paved, right? They got all these brand new roads. Well, this is a story. 20 years ago, you know, Senator Robert Byrd from West Virginia was the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, which means that they had all the budget money. And so West Virginia has these amazing road projects all the way through West Virginia because this is the way Washington works.
You really went there.
I did. Well, he's long past. He's long past.
Well, I was kind of.
You know, he's long past dead now, but anyway, it is definitely how these beautiful roads got built. You know. Little pork. He was the king of pork.
He went there.
I
went
went
there.
there for Robert Byrd. I didn't go there about the other things about Robert Byrd.
Oh my goodness.
But if you want to talk about the other
Okay,
things
I
that
think we
he's-
should click
that
off
he's
now.
famous for. But Robert Byrd is a legendary politician in West Virginia and in Washington.
Oh,
So,
he's legendary,
in
all
fact,
right.
he's mentor of a number of people.
You're just talking. I guess you have power of the edit here.
Well, you know,
You know, I'm gonna enjoy the scenery for a few minutes here. So we're just talking about you know, our conversation earlier. And going
about the roads
about the roads, but you know,
and how they got paved.
so the problem is, one of the biggest problems that we have with filming, making videos for you guys,
And putting
is
them
that-
up, yeah.
and putting them up is because we have so many filters. Like, we're like scared to death to say anything about anything.
Yeah, we don't want to
And
offend anybody.
We really don't want to offend
We're a
anybody,
happy
but it's
family channel.
we really are. But it's like, you know, when you're in the midst of these seasons that are so crazy, and then you've got, you know, like, you know, with the whole virus thing and everything, it's even worse.
Yeah.
You know, and so our filters are extreme anyhow.
Right.
We are so careful about what we say and what we show and what we film.
Did you know that there's actually an election coming up?
Oh my God. He did it again. Did you hear him? He did it again.
Well, there's an election, right?
He did it again. That's a dirty word.
No, but there is an
You're
election.
not supposed to say election. Can you say election?
No, you can say election. You can say virus.
You just can't say who you're going to vote for, because that would be bad.
And you know what? I mean, it's interesting to go down the road, okay, and see signs and.
We're going down the road, okay?
And we're seeing signs.
Oh, we're heading right down that road. We're driving down the road, honey.
We're driving down the road, and we'll get there. We'll get past the election season, okay? We will get past the election season. I can't wait. I can't wait. Right?
Oh my goodness, I can't wait
before we can move on. And this too shall pass. Here's the other thing, okay? So we live right outside the Beltway.
Oh, you can't escape it. You can't escape the crazy.
So in Washington, and I've spent a good part of my career working and helping our government agencies do the mission of what they're supposed to do. And so we've lived here for 30 years in the Washington, D.C. area.
Joel is 3.
So you guys who don't live in the Washington, D.C. area, you see this around election time, but we see it all the time, right? And so when elections come and elections go, the fortunes of our area in the Washington, D.C. area, they don't call it a beltway for nothing. The beltway, inside the beltway, is its own microcosm of a business, of an economy. And that economy spreads.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it spreads into this whole community. So if you live outside the Beltway, your consumption and your availability of news is completely different than what we see in our local papers and our local radio stations and who's on the radio and what they're talking about. Or it doesn't really matter. The weather report every day, okay, will tell when we're going into the season. It tells us whether the federal government is working or not, right? So, I mean, if we have a, I don't know what they call it, right? A stay-at-home day, right? Where essential workers only are supposed to go to school. I mean, or
We've
go to work.
had 6 months of stay-at-home days.
I know that we have that now, but my point is that everything in this area around Washington hinges around the federal government.
Well,
so
it's just like,
there's a cycle and a clock.
When we first met, you worked at the Kennedy Space Center.
I did.
And in that town that we lived in, everything revolves around that. And so many towns, like whatever factory is there or whatever.
That's right. So we were launching space shuttles.
It's the same thing.
We were launching space shuttles in Kennedy Space Center, and I worked on shuttle. I worked in the firing rooms, in the launch control center, in the firing rooms, on one of those headsets as we launched space shuttles. I did that when we lived in Florida.
He's a rocket scientist.
I'm a rocket scientist. I've tried brain surgery, but I didn't really try brain surgery, but it's not rocket science. That's why I didn't do it. So, but I was a rocket scientist, okay? I was an engineer on the headset launching space shuttles, and I launched 20, 25 of them, something like that.
Well, you had help.
Well, I did have help, but I was on the master console, and I was sitting right next to the test conductor, and, we launched space shuttles. Well, when Challenger accident happened, that whole area...
Shortly before you and I met.
Shut down, essentially, because, it changed my career, because I ended up having to do and moving into an investigation, doing forensic work, doing engineering on data as opposed to operations. And part of that process for me enabled me to start to look at other parts of the country that needed my services instead of running space shuttles. And so we decided...
that wasn't, you needed to.
Well, but there weren't any launches. They
Right,
weren't going to launch
exactly,
any
that's my point.
shuttles for a couple of years, and I helped out at NASA on space station stuff for a while. But then in the end, I got an opportunity to move to Washington, move to D.C., and help. Actually, I helped the Department of Justice, the Department of Commerce, the Postal Service, and the EPA, and a number of agencies. Help them with their technology.
But you don't work for the government.
I don't work for the government. I've advised people in the government, advised, the technology leaders in our government, and so I've had a first-hand seat, been on site, and it was interesting that, and this is just an observation, right? So we've been here for 30 years, so we've watched these administrations come and go, and each part of the community, it's kind of interesting because during Republican administrations, some communities are the in place to be, and during Democratic administrations, there's other communities that are the place to be, and so it swings back and forth. And if you live in a house, you're either in the community or you're not in the community. But it shows about what's on television, what's on the in your community, and kind of the talk about what's going on. So Washington is
It's all a mess.
Washington is a crazy place to live. It really is. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
No, if we could get out of here, I think we would try to do
And
that.
I haven't done any government work for many years. It's been over a decade that I've done any kind of government, help or services at all. So I'm well out of that now. But the fact of the matter is, it still is, where we live, and the businesses around us are supporting federal government, initiatives and things that they do. So
our trip out to get our meat turned into this.
I'm so happy to get away from the Beltway and to get away from.
It's really funny because when you leave our home,
yeah,
and you go down the road and you get to a certain place on the highway, you can feel you can feel the difference, and I don't know, maybe that's just us, maybe it's
no longer that Beltway.
Well, it might be the scenery, the mountains and everything, I don't know, but it just,
there's a release.
it's very stressful.
It's very peaceful to come out.
Peaceful to come out this way.
It's peaceful and serene, when you get out from the big city. So
I mean, we might as well continue the conversation.
Right. Okay, so
you're talking about
why are we the way we are? Why did we do what we did?
Oh, that's too much to go into one video.
I'm not going to go into that. But I want to focus on something I think that's really important.
Story time.
And that is that each person, each family, whatever, has what is called a Genesis story. And a Genesis story is the circumstances, the events, the decisions, all the things that happen to you.
You were saying that because we're not, you don't consider us to be political people.
Yeah,
oh, that was our GoPro.
We're not political people.
No.
Right? We're not activists.
We're not activists in anything, not even driven. Disability stuff.
We're not driven by politics. And what I was saying was that our upbringing and our events and circumstances, where we were brought up, our family, our history, all of that creates a story, and I call it the Genesis story. Right? Other people call it that too. But it's a unique story to each person and each family. And then, now here we are, 60 plus years into our Genesis story, and we're not ones to we're not ones to go off on this direction, or anything like that, because our history has formed, our Genesis story has formed our opinions, our ideas, and they've changed.
But we're very consistent. Yeah, no, we do. We change and progress, and and I think our minds are very open.
Absolutely.
To new ideas
and
things,
and yet we've gone full circle on a lot of topics and a lot of beliefs and a lot of things like that. Some of those are just personal convictions and things we've chosen. But I think one thing that we've done is that we've not followed a crowd.
No.
One thing, I mean, I don't know.
We are ones, both of us. We very much think for ourselves.
Very independent.
And I always tell the kids, David especially being in college and, all the time, is the kids don't have to agree with us and we don't have to agree with them. And we don't a lot of times, because we're teaching our kids how to think for themselves.
And to be independent.
And to go and do their research and really dig deep. Don't just believe what you hear. Don't just, believe what you see. Go and dig deeper and try to, like what I'll do, I hear these sound bites on TV and I know that's what they are, sound bites. And so what I do is I try to go find the full conversation because I want to hear the words in context.
Yeah.
And when I hear the words in context, I can form my own opinions, not being told by anybody.
I'm a fact, data, information-driven person, right? And I don't start with making a decision based on how I feel or what other people say. That in fact, you don't like it sometimes because I don't go to a specific decision or make decisions very quickly. I make decisions very slowly. And so,
I make decisions very quickly, but I'm usually right. Because, now that's another video too. That's the intuition.
So what I do is, I think our lives have been, an example of finding out about information. When we adopted kids, we find out information about them, find out what it's going to take to what they need, and then
we've usually done that after we've made the decision quickly. You've come in here.
Well,
then we go and we look into things a little deeper. Maybe not quite deep enough, and maybe sometimes you don't,
Right,
That's
and you would not
story.
you would not be able to say, I mean, if you asked us 30 years ago if we knew we were going to adopt 6 kids.
Well, if you asked us 30 years ago if we thought the 6 kids would still be in our back seat, that would have blown our minds.
Never thought that.
We might have not made the right decision, based on how we were feeling at that moment, how we were feeling, right?
Right.
We might have made the wrong decision, but I'm glad we got the kids. I'm glad those
And
guys
each
back there.
one was an independent decision.
Yes.
That came to us, and we had to reassess at every point that came to us. We always had the radar, that if some situation
Right.
came up, that we were ready, willing, and able to move forward. In that case, we did. But
Took us a long time each time. Took us a
And
long
this
time.
might surprise people. We're not big adoption advocates.
We're not adoption advocates.
Yeah.
We're not disability advocates. We're just not advocates, and I don't know, if you pick something up by, watching our lives, that's great, but we're not ones to.
Maybe we're advocates for living and being examples of.
I mean, I don't even get what the deal is, really, because we're just living our lives
Right.
with our family, our very unique family, but, just living our lives. So,
And there's other families out there that have done amazing things.
we're almost there, right?
Yep.
It's a long drive to go see a farmer. It's always a long drive to go
Yeah.
see a farmer.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on MooTube.
MooTube.
Getting ready to leave. It's sundown. We had a nice visit with our friends. You ready to go get some food, oh Ben? I bet you're hungry, huh? So pretty.
Yeah.
So we were talking back there. We heard, as you do oftentimes when you're out here in the farmland, we heard some rifles going off.
I
Some
can hear 'em
guys.
now.
You can hear them now. Target
Yep, I can hear 'em right
practicing.
over here.
So
I don't
we
know
were
if they're
telling
target or
about how one night we were sitting there watching TV, Joe and I, and we heard what sounded like a rifle going off like in our backyard, right? And so we were scared. We're like running around the house, crouching down, turning off the lights, checking on the kids, right?
Now, I thought I had heard some gunshots that morning.
Yeah,
too,
and so we were really, it was very stressful. So I went to bed, everything calmed down, and we didn't hear it again or anything. And so I went upstairs, and about 2:00 in the morning, I woke up abruptly, and I remembered that I had put some Cokes in the freezer. We had the guy who was doing our painting. We ordered pizza, and I didn't have any cold Coke, and I stuck some in the freezer. And don't you know, I forgot to take those Cokes out, and those Cokes exploded. They exploded in my freezer. And so then it occurred to us that's what the gunshots were. That's what it sounds like. It sounded like a rifle going off. We were telling them the story about peeing our pants laughing. So that was pretty funny. But anyway, yeah, don't put your Cokes in the freezer. Set the timer if you do that. Right. Because let me tell you, they will explode.
And they make a mess.
Oh my gosh,
crevice.
we had to empty out
All
everything.
of our food.
We're lucky that it didn't destroy our freezer.
Yeah.
But that was,
Because it wasn't just one Coke. You had put a bunch of them
I
in
did.
there.
Well, we had company.
We had company, right?
So anyway.
Set a reminder.
Suddenly, I
Set
know.
a reminder.
Set a timer for sure if you do that. It works, but you got to set a timer because they freeze solid and boom, they explode. But anyway, suddenly I'm craving a Coke.
Yeah, right.
Are we going to go get some food somewhere, I guess, now, right?
Yeah.
You guys hungry back there?
Yeah.
That was a fun little visit.
Has